Okay. Yes, so I think you're preempting our conversation after this, but I think the journey started many years ago with the different initiatives that I shared. But of course, they are not reaching the majority. And therefore, with this partnership with Kenya Healthcare Federation, the next steps is to see how can we be more inclusive so that the young people who are here asking questions, how do they get to where you are, can access some of those training opportunities, some of those mentoring opportunities. I must say, for me, education, I find, is the accelerator for women to get to where they need to be. Because a lot of times we fail because we do not know, not because we don't have the ability or maybe we don't have the exposure. So for us, together with the KHF, this is just the beginning. We have a lot to share as we are continuing to break down the findings, but also just coming together as a community. Today was not a training session, but I know the conversations here, people have already taken out enough things that they can go back and apply in their workplaces and in their professional life, and also on their own, just listening to the engaging conversation and the tips you've shared. So we want to create those safe spaces with KHF, whereby we bring women. We are overwhelmed by the enthusiasm we have seen since we launched this study, and we are encouraged by the support we have seen from all of you, just the sheer number of people who turned up. So we don't want to lose that momentum. We want to have those spaces where we can continue to collaborate, we can continue to share best practices, we can support one another, both with the peer-to-peer learning, but also the psychosocial support that we always look for from trusted friends when we come together. So that's where the journey is. In the long term, of course, all this comes together with, of course, evidence-based, the long-term follow-up of these conversations, looking at the interventions, how are they working for us in our context? Because sometimes we may borrow things that are working in the West and not necessarily working here in our context in Africa. So that's what I would really say is next. And we're also looking to hear from you on what some of those critical change levers and interventions, because we can't do everything, but we can have short or more concerted, focused areas where we feel that this will bring the greatest change in the sector. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Angela, and I can hear the bell ringing, and this is now the wrap-up in terms of recommendations and strategies for enhancing leadership support. What are some of these actionable strategies? And I'm going to take this round and as we wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just say two. And I think we'll have another, one day we'll meet again and then I'll tell the story, my story. Someone asked about Breaking Point. I left an INGO and went to work for Sautia, where they had no structures, no system. So it was quite something for me. In terms of strategies, one, mentorship. I think it's very critical for us to continue doing it. Two, a holistic approach in terms of women leadership, just looking at it holistically and the different experiences. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Reson.
Great, thank you once again. So I would say, I would look at it as 4 investments. Invest in yourself, in your own growth as a leader, so that, like the CC told us earlier, we can be competent for these roles when they come our way. Then invest in the growth of others. Be intentional, because as we keep growing others, the biggest person who benefits is ourselves. Because like they say, I think, Janet, in teaching and learning, when you start teaching, that's when you learn the most. And similarly in leadership, when you start growing others, you also grow the most. And then just building on what Dr. Muthoni said, we need to think about these as systems. Let's invest in systems. Wherever we have influence, let's build a system that normalizes women in leadership, so that it's not the exception, but it's rather the expectation and just how things are. And the last one I would say is invest in a community. right? Because allyship is really about a community, and it's about people who can pick you up, who can influence you, where iron can really sharpen iron. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Modoni.
I'll say just two, and one of them is we need to, first of all, create and break those stereotypes and create an environment within our workplace that actually is inclusive. Whether it's a driving policy, whether it's speaking up, whether it's opening doors for others, mentorship, just break the stereotype, yeah, and open doors for others. And then finally, and I want to, there's a question she asked that I'm very passionate about. You don't need to change who you are, be yourself. Embrace femininity. I will never want to be a man. I'm very happy being a woman. And even in my leadership role, I embrace my femininity. Yeah? So your leadership style is based on who you are. You do not need to change yourself to embrace anybody else to be a strong leader. You can be a strong leader and a strong female leader by just being yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. And last and not the least, Dr. Janet.
Yes, I think we've been asked to form the Girls Club. Please, start in your small circle. That's what's really going to help. And be intentional about that Girls Club. When you're told, are you showing up? Show up. You know, sometimes you could be 100 of you, but only one person will show up that day. Be the one who shows up that day. That's what's important. I think for me, the other thing is, and this has been my journey, is that if you mentor others or you're creating those allyships and things are happening to you, please let them also happen to others. You may not always get it back from the same people who you have given your time to, but pay it forward. Those allyships are critical. They come out in our different seasons of life. And I know our CC Nakuru asked, she wants people to mentor in Nakuru, so if she's left the room, I'm saying yes. So it's a yes for me, because I have found mentorship really helps. What's at the breaking points to reach where I am today? I'll say the allyship, but as we were told, please upskill. Upskilling is very important. I'm in a leadership position, but last year I challenged myself to go into another leadership course. Why? Because this leadership course was different. It had women. I usually have done leadership courses that are male and female, but I went for a leadership course that was designed for women, and it has given me networks and resources and a different perspective of thinking about women in leadership and in the health space. So please, upskill and reskill yourself.
Thank you so much. And my take home is, let us start from the low-hanging fruit. Let's not wait until we are up there. Let's all start from a low-hanging fruit. Thank you so much, panelists. Thank you so much, team, for making this quite insightful. And at this juncture, I would like all of us to be upstanding so that we can give a hand of applause to our panelists as they take their seats back. To wapigie makofi. Let's really do a clap, and thank you so much. And I know it was time to take tea, and it's good for us to do that as we come to the next session. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. That bell rang 72 times, and I was like, wamekata, wananangana. All right, thank you so much, ladies. Just a quick note, we will ask you to just grab your tea and come back in, but you will note that there is a commitment board just like this outside. There are 2 of them. We would absolutely love it if you would put your signature there. As witnesses that we were part of this forum, but also as people committing to do the things that we have said we will do. There are some markers outside that you can get. Feel free to sign your biggest signing. your business signature. And most medical people are here, hamwezi andika vizuri. Munaandika kama Si munajijua? Cursive. So feel free to do that. Please allow us to convene back here in exactly 10 minutes. You'll note that it is 4:15, and so that means we are 30 minutes behind schedule at the moment. But what remains is a very brief recap of all the breakout sessions, and then we will proceed. Is that all right? Okay, running tea and coffee, mukimbie, muchukue, murudi. You may leave your things where you are. If you sat in a new table, let's have you stay there. Let's have you stay there. Is that okay? Whoever is coming in to join us will sit somewhere new. All right, you're welcome. Go grab your teas and coffees. I'm giving you 10 minutes, and then we will start whether you are here or not. Okay, please grab a pen and sign any of the commitment boards as well. All right, thank you.
I'm again over soul. Yeah, you won't capture my soul. Make you one more. Better, bye. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Tonight in Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't call if you want Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My thought of mom is loaded. Me, you can fag up, but I'm on board. I'm on duty, but I'm on low-key. They want do me, they want do me. They want do me, but they want do me. When you won't want me, when you won't want me. I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, when you won't want me. I just flew Miami. Peru, para. I'm loose. Even Peru done the para. She said she like my tunes. She said me I never seen a girl like you. Say you like my tattoos. Tell me I want to be inside you. She's my woman. Inside Puna, sweet like sugar. In my new van, come to me, yeah, they swim like tuna. When you won't want me, when you won't want me. I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, when you won't want me. I just flew in Miami. Peru, para. I'm loose. Even Peru done the para. Hey, yo, big wave. Tell them I come. Small time alongside JW.
My bestie and your bestie sit down by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, ane. Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now, I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, ane.
Okay, your mama gwele. Step on the dancing floor. Hips be winding, detail rewinding. Take it to the island way. Okay, your baby mama. Put on your dancing shoes. One drop it, pop it low now. Take you to the max now. Jam in this small jam way. Jam in this small jam way.
My bestie and your bestie dancing by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, ane.
Let me take it from here. Solomon girl straight up, right hoochie mama. Make me party non-stop in a island banda. Swing those hips and back it up to me rather. A chance for party ladies do the doggy. I'm turning on and reggae, rapping blue, green and yellow. Me tapping and baby, making slow wine for me baby. Speakers pumping, people jumping. We jamming the island way.
Shout out to the good time crew all across the islands. Grab your shoes, let me 2x2, and now we shining bright like diamonds. Talking about hey now.
If you're at the doorway, please come in. Please come in, take your seats. If the seat you had occupied earlier is now somebody else's, worry not. There are plenty of seats for you to occupy. Look at it like every seat at the table is yours. Now, some of you have already started doing the exercise that is on the screens. The platform we are using right now is called Kahoot. And if you can log on to the URL that's up there, www.kahoot.it, or if you have the Kahoot app with you, please put the game pin in and register using your own name. Even if it's a nickname, we will find you. Like that person J. Now me, when I log in, what am I going to say? Hata mimi ni J. So put your name in so we can identify you. There are definitely more than 4 people in the room. Ama hao ni watu wa iPhone. My Android people, don't embarrass us. Please, please, please. Register quickly. Zippy, Vane or Vane, I don't know, Vane, Minty, Hare, really? Takila Mogo. These are such interesting names. Let's keep going. I want that number to at least hit 40. So the quicker we get there, the quicker we can move on to our program. Let's go. 14, we're doing better. 16. All right, good morning. Hi, tablet. How are you? Kumbe, there are emojis in this thing. I didn't even know that. Some of you, your bosses are not here. I can tell. Your bosses are not in the room. Keep going, keep going. All right, 29. I still think we can do better. Achamin. Let's keep going, let's keep going. What is 40? Let's hit 50. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. Oh, I hope you're the one who has to come up and get something. I want to know who that is. It's either a prophetic statement or it is the truth. Nya daddy. Hey, who left? Who left the building there? Are you having second thoughts? All right. Father Abraham is the one who left. No, he's still there. Kadonye, Grandma Katz, what is happening? What? I like it a lot. MMB, mother of Drago. Who is Drago? Okay, we're at 60. Okay, we were at 60. You're making us not start. Whoever those 2 people are, come back into thank you. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play a little game. I just want to know if your sessions were interesting, if the information that you have gathered here today has been impactful, if you've taken nuggets of information home that you plan to apply as soon as Monday. What do you do when your calf is cramping? Doctors, quickly. Your calf is cramping. May I take off my shoes? Is that the first thing? Are my shoes heels? I have to think about the answer to that question. I wore them so you could see me. Now you're asking me if the shoes are heels. Yes, they are. Okay, we're at 75, so I believe we can begin. So those of you who are at the table over there, please let's see our first question. Please answer it. This is the inspiring quiz. And 1. Word cloud. How are you feeling right now as we celebrate this inspiring International Women's Day? Players, type your answers. Index ones, 18, 20. Are you typing full words? 45, 44 people are left, 43, 41. Keep going, keep going. Type your answers, orange, then green, then blue. How will we know when to stop? We wait for all of them. These 28 people, harakisha tafadhali. How are you feeling right now as we celebrate this inspiring International Women's Day? This is what we call one of those temperature checks. It's triage. And we know how quickly to send you to the next doctor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. Let's sample some of your answers. Fabulous, invigorated, happy, excited, awesome, inspired, empowered with a, I don't know what, why are you crossing out empowered? Super, fantastic, hopeful, good and empowered, equipped, so inspired, I feel hopeful, rahatu, suba, challenged, humbled, wow, amazing, excited, happy, good, inspired, charged, set, special, energized, enlightened or enlightening, honored, elated, optimistic, impressed, amazing again, giggles, I like that, and encouraged. Motivated. All right, these are very great answers. Now you know how to use the app. Let's play the game. Next question, please. What is the Swahili word for health? Ni afya, ni salama, ni uzima, au ni tiba? What is the Swahili word for health? All right, 72 of you believe it is afya. One of you believes it is uzima. Another one believes it is salama. And two, oh dear, two think it is tiba. Skia, you are right in your own way, but not today. Okay. The correct word is afya. So those who are keeping score and determining who the winners will be, you will guide me on how to do it, because do you have 72 hello high five presents? No. Okay. So maybe you give the two who won, who got Tiba wrong to encourage them, yeah? All right, so that was fairly easy. Next question. The youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yousafzai, received it when she was how old? 17, 16, 19, 18, 15, or 14? The youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yousafzai, was how old when she received this prize? Okay. You're answering much quicker, which is a good sign, or worrisome. We'll find out very soon. All right, 10 of you thought it was 17. 4 of you thought it was 18. Most of you thought it was 16. 14 of you thought it was 15. 8 of you thought it was 19. And 20 of you thought it was 14. The correct answer is 17. If you know you are there, just say whoop whoop. All right, next question. So far the scoreboard is that Minty has Ati how many points? 1,832. 1,815. Sisto 1705. Hey, mother of the Drago, you are here. 1,668. Sunguya, inisawa uko kwa leaderboard. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see how we're doing. Did you pass by the Wall of Fame? Let's test your memory. And no running outside, we can see. What is the first name of the first female breast cancer surgeon? Dr. whom? This one is so easy. So easy. Of course it's Maureen. So easy. Dr. Dash Mutebi, MD, MSc, FAC, the first name of the first female breast cancer surgeon. 10 of you thought it was Mercy. 1 of you heard me and said, Maureen, I apologize. I told you listening to me is not always wise. 10 of you thought it was Mary, and 51 of you got it right. It is Dr. Miriam Mutebi, and she indeed is on our Wall of Fame as the first female breast cancer surgeon. Let's go to the next question, please. Minty, bado uko area. Oi, mother of the Drago, where have you gone? And Father Abraham, surely. All right, 4 of you have remained on the leaderboard. Let's see if this question will move that. What does sustainable development goal addresses, what sustainable development goal addresses gender equality? Which of the 17, if you didn't know there are 17 of them, which of the 17 SDGs addresses gender equality? It was said in the morning by one of our speakers. Watu wa iPhone. It's SDG number 5. 40 of you got that right. That means another 40 something got it wrong. Oi. Aya, let's move to the next question. Or show us the scoreboard. Ay, Minty. And welcome, Vicky. Vicky, good morning. Welcome to the scoreboard. Sisto is still there. May is still there. MM, you're still there. Aya, 3 players have reached answer streak 4. All right, I don't know what that is, but it sounds exciting. Let's go to the next question, please. You have only 2 more questions. Whose inspirational words are these? We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Teacher. Teacher, me. As Kenyans would call them, Oprah Winfrey, Albert Einstein, Maya Angelou, and Aristotle. Who was it? It was Aristotle, everybody. And who told us that this afternoon? Who said that? Dr. Itotia, indeed. This is the mantra by which she lives, and it's by Aristotle, all right? Maya Angela sounds like she would have said something like that. Hey, Minty. Sister O. Aya, last question. Father Abraham, I still have hope. I still have hope. What is the name of our current location? Hall of what? Fame. Ay, nyinyi. Hall of Fame is the right answer. No? Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. 14 of you have no idea where you are. Hall of Movenpick. That was the easiest thing to fall for. Please go grab a coffee and come back in. I am now very concerned. Indeed, we are in the Hall of Africa at the Movenpick Hotel, so there cannot be a Hall of Movenpick. All right, well, that concludes our game, the inspiring quiz, and of course, Sarah is in 3rd place, V in 2nd place, who got 5 out of 6, and the winner, pom pom pom, Vicky. So Vicky got 5 out of 6. Ken, you are runner-up. This is not just the correct answer, but it's also how quickly you answer. So I'm going to ask these Vicky, Sarah to please come up. Vicky, please come up. V, please come up. Sarah, please come up. Where is Vicky? Your Vicky, please come up. Let's award you. Shall I do it, or is there somebody else for award? Can I award them? I am. All right, in second place, V. And Sarah. Woohoo! Aya, DJ, 1 second. I want to ask, on a scale of Nini, you are in which age group? Like 0 to 10, 11 to 25, 25 to 35. Which one are you in?
25 to 35.
35 to 40. 25 to 35.
Unaona, omega 3, you start taking it now. So how many questions did you get wrong?
I think one.
I think one. You, how many questions did you get wrong?
One.
Did you have help from the people on your table?
Yes, I did.
No, I did not.
Some.
So whatever is in this basket, as the good Christians that you are, you will share it with them, yes? A round of applause. Thank you so much for playing and for paying attention. All right. We're going to welcome, to move our recap and call to action, because I think it's important for us to just hear what was discussed at the various breakout sessions. You saw a lot of you were struggling to finish on time. That means there was great engagement, and for that we are very grateful. So allow me to call up on stage Dr. Angela Ndunge. Please make your way up. I'll ask that you take the seat on my immediate left. I'll also call up Dr. Tim Theuri, who will serve as one of our panelists. He will make his way up here as soon as he arrives. Let me call up Charity Kamau as well. Then let me call up Dr. Ben Ngoe and Dr. Benson Mutuku. Dr. Angela Ndunge, I'd like you to sit here if that's okay. Thank you. Then we let the others. Dr. Tim, we're ready for you on the stage. Thank you. All right, as we prepare to hand over to our moderator for this session of the recap and the call to action, who will be Dr. Angela Ndunge. Once again, let me just remind you, if you have not already done so, please scan your QR code. There is a feedback form in there. I believe it's a Google form that we will be asking you to fill in once this particular session is over. So please make sure you have scanned the QR code for that. Dr. Angela Ndunge, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. So I know I'm standing between you and your Friday cocktails and parties. So we are going to wrap this up as tidily and as nicely as possible. So I'll just start by asking the moderators. Each of you has been in different breakout rooms. Of course, this morning we had various discussions about enablers, the barriers, and the different experiences. And the breakouts were really meant to help us forge and narrow focus on areas that we can immediately start to intervene in. So I'll just invite you, in just the order we are sitting, to help us summarize the different breakout sessions that you had, and maybe point us to 2 or 3 things that really summarize on the interventions in the various areas that you are located. So I'll start here with Dr. Benson Mutuku.
Thank you so much, Dr. Angela. And we had the breakout session 4, and we were looking at enhancing leadership support for gender inclusion. We were looking at the current landscape of gender inclusion in healthcare leadership, and this was touching on representation, underrepresentation in terms of gender, as well as also looking at gender diversity under that theme. We moved and looked at the barriers that hinder gender inclusion. There came a lot in regards to the cultural issues, the social cultural practices, as well as barriers that are systemic within our different institutions, and thus those affect women in terms of the career ladder. We moved and looked at how we could create inclusive organizational cultures and building allies and advocates. And I do remember Dr. Ben presenting and talking about the Boys Club. We were asking ourselves then, how do we move forward and build up the Girls Club? And it was quite interesting to really see how from the grassroots level, we have village savings and loans associations, but that keeps on watering down as we grow up the ladder. And the fact is that at that higher level of leadership, there are quite a number of responsibilities, and we need to look on how we could be able to create a similar model that would help in terms of building the Girls Club. And then finally, we were just looking at the strategies for enhancing leadership support, and what came out very clearly was how to look at the low-hanging fruits. Let us not wait until we are up there. Start walking the baby steps, get what you can do, and believe in yourself in every step, and you are going to hit to that level. Thank you.
All right. Yes. I did. Yes. Thank you very much. I was in session 2 where we were looking at the structures for mentorship and allyship, and looking at how do we move forward, because it is clear that there is good correlation with women advancing. So we started by making sure we are on the same page, so defining what are the different terms, because they can get confused sometimes. And we said a coach asks a lot, a mentor tells a lot, and an ally offers support. And then Dr. Angela, we added another one, which is a sponsor. And this is the idea of actively mentioning your name, actively putting you out there, actively suggesting what you need to do. When I was doing the summary, I thought we talked about it in let's say 2 ways. One is the individual. How does the individual deal with mentorship? And the first thing we talked about was about self-coaching. Women, we doubt ourselves a lot, and so we need to do some level of self-coaching. And then going with arming yourself with the right knowledge, so that as you sit at that table, then you are ready to do it. We also talked about preparing men for this change that is coming, and doing that very structurally, and being very intentional with our planning, being very intentional with our career, and with who we pick as our coaches and as our mentors, and also making sure that we are intentional about exposing the women at the grassroots level to opportunities. And then when we came to organizations, I think the biggest thing that came up was that the leadership has to support it. And actually a question was asked about what do you do when they don't? And the answer was, actually there's very little you can do. And you might have to look for external options and see what you can control. So it has to come from the leadership. They have to give permission, and they have to also volunteer to be mentors, to be coaches. Then it has to be formal. Whatever structure we put in has to be formalized. And particularly once people reach a certain level in the organization, it cannot be optional anymore. We talked about training and retraining and upskilling. And I think there's a very big thing here where we have to learn new skills, emotional intelligence, but also we cannot assume we learned them once and then that's it. And so if we are going to build a structure that has mentorship and coaching, there has to be this element. And then we looked at the issues of data and trust, that we have to be clear about our goals and we have to trust, we have to do it in trust. Finally, we asked ourselves, how does it look like when we achieve? How does it look like when we achieve as an individual who has been mentored and who is a mentor? And we said there should be movement, and there should be movement. That person should move from one to the other. So it shouldn't just be, I am a mentor of somebody, and yes, you meet, but there's no movement. Or you're being mentored, but there's no movement. And as an organization, the things that came up is that HR should not be a rubber stamp anymore to what the CEOs want, but they should be the people that are looking out for these gender issues, and that we have to build a system, and that for those CEOs that are, supporting, and for HRs that are working in organizations, this has to be mission critical. It has to be mission critical. Building structures for mentorship has to be mission critical. Thank you.
Okay, so I had the privilege of moderating conversations between a very engaged audience and a very experienced panel of Quresh Abdullahi, the Executive Director for the Institute for Healthcare Resource Management, Dr. Joan Osoro from MPSHA, and Sabina, who has so many hats. I can't recall which 2 or 3 she picked for the session. Now, our conversation was on culture, and I'll share maybe 3 takeaways. The first one was for us to just recognize the interconnectedness between what happens without and what happens within the organization. What I mean is that there is a lot of influence from family, from communities, from industry, from sector, from the global society that then filters back into the organization. And any change in the organization must be cognizant of that and find ways to move that lever as well as moving the lever within the organization. The second point is that rather than push the dial too far on one end, maybe should we not consider a workplace culture that is accommodative of all, where everybody feels safe and everybody feels supported to do what they need to do, and that in this way it stops becoming a competition, but rather recognizes the uniqueness of each of the different parties who come and work within the organization. And then the third summary note that I took was, and I'll try to use the words that Sabina used to sort of put this together, to ask ourselves about the inclusivity in the inclusion, and to ask ourselves about who is being excluded in the inclusion. Does that make sense? It's a little like the red Rory riding around. Yeah? But the basic idea is that even for all of us within the organization, that there are differences, okay? So there is no one stereotypical woman or man in the organization. They have different ages, are going through different life experiences, come from very different cultural, religious, and other. And so we cannot have a stereotype and model things there, because if we do that, then we are likely to exclude others. And it's the same thing for the men as well. So who are we including in the inclusion story? And who are we excluding when we are trying to get the inclusion story right? So that is a summary from Breakout Room 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Dr. Theuri?
We were in Trukana 4. Ours was on the implementation and uptake of gendered policies. I had a very interesting panel, I must say, of Frida Njogu, who's the regional director of ID Insight, Paul Kuria, who as of yesterday became the acting CEO of National Gender and Equality Commission, Joy Mugambi from Nakuru County, Dr. Elizabeth Gitao, who came with many hats as well, like I think your panelist, Ben. And also we had Hilda as well. And we unpacked the session, and I think I will summarize it in 4 points. And the first one is, it's important to humanize the story. We must humanize the policies as well so that they can be relatable by everyone in society. The other one was that we must empower the whole of society so that they can be ready for where we are going in empowering our women. Something else that came out strongly is that you must be the change you want to see. And tied to that, one of our panelists said that you must start. So start and be the change that you want to see. And after being the change you want to see, remember that the world is run by those who show up. So you must show up daily, you must show up consistently and persistently. We must also use the all of society approach in this. And in doing so, I tied it to something that I had said, that we must put resources in the pockets of women. But also what came out is resources without power at times cannot be useful. So we must also put resources and power in the hands of our women. We also had a very interesting discussion along the age span of the women in leadership. We largely think about our younger ladies. The middle band is sort of pretty much well sorted out. But what about the older woman in leadership? Perimenopausal and menopausal stage. How do we take care of our women at that level? They have special needs. They have special requirements. They will be in a room that is quite cold, but they want the AC on. So how do we take care of that? That's also something that came out. When it comes to policies as well, Paul intimated that they have reviewed over 700 laws for gender blindness, gender specificity, and gender sensitivity. And we looked at the 4 landmark bills in health that have been passed, and he felt that they've been quite gender sensitive, if I'm to use those words. When it comes to how laws are passed, we must participate. And we were asked a question of how many of us have engaged in public participation in our counties or the various government agencies we know of. And only one hand was raised in the room. And if you don't show up, other people will make the decisions for you. So you must show up. The other thing is use of data. We must use data to decision. And without data, it's a rumor. So that is something that also came out very strongly. And to summarize it, we must also seal the leakage points, the points using policy, where we are losing our women. We must seal those points as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my moderators. I was just thinking about all that has been said. Of course, this project on women in leadership driving country level change is only 3 years. We are just in our 2nd year. So maybe you can paint a picture of what success will look like when we are done with this project, which would be end of next year. What would you like to see? Of course, we have representation from KHF and Strathmore. If we were to promise this group of people, what would be that thing that says, okay, we have, in one way or another, tried to drive country-level change, and we have enhanced women's leadership in the healthcare sector. So it's a dream, and we were told to dream. We can only dream and try. If we fail or if we succeed, whichever way, we did our best. So I just want to hear, what's that dream for you? Starting with Dr. Theory, then coming to Dr. Ben, Charity, and then Benson.
In our panel, we were told that it would take, I think, 108 years before we see where we want to go. And that took me aback. But success for me would be, the stories need to leave the room. I think that would be success for me. All the conversations we have here, the conversations we are having in our offices, they need to leave the rooms that we are having them in and be out there. And with that will come awareness of the peculiarities of this space that we are trying to change. The other thing would be, if we are able to embolden society to embrace and accept that our women are not only equal, but are capable, then I think we'll have moved the needle. 3 years seemed like a long time when we began. We are smack in the middle of it, and now there's a bit of panic. Have we done enough? So we will try and pace ourselves so that the fraternity knows where we are going, and we'll be happy to pass the baton to the next team or the next people, and we hope that the foundation can see this as a worthy cause and look kindly upon it as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Theory. Ben?
Okay, thanks. I think I'll summarize it in the way that in our breakout, it was sort of discussed. And that is a workplace that actually just works for everybody. A workplace that recognizes, that embraces, and that leverages our diversity, both between and within the gender spectrum, for the betterment both of the organization as well as of society.
For myself, I would like to see that the same way we panic when we, as CEOs, now I'm speaking into my future, the same way we panic when we have not submitted our KRA dues is the same way we will panic as a country when we have not instituted the structures, the policies, and everything else we've talked about today that support gender sensitive environments in the workplace.
Thank you, Charity.
Thank you, Charity. And before I respond to that question, it would be unfair if I don't acknowledge the team of panelists. And I had Dr. Janet Muriuki from IntraHealth International, Dr. Mudhoni Ntonjira from the country manager for Philips East Africa, Dr. Reson Marima, Chief of Party, USAID Fahari ya Jamii, and Dr. Violet Mudhiga, the CEO for Sauti ya Wanawake Pwani. Coming to the question that has been asked by Dr. Angela, I would look at it at gender mainstreaming is a process. And the successes we have gained will be contributed if we continue moving with the low-hanging fruits. Let us look at women's empowerment in different segments. Let's build the voice. There is a person who came to this workshop today who will walk out of that room feeling empowered and their voice amplified. Let us look at the structures. We do have policies, yes, but those systems and structures, how can we make them favorable towards gender responsiveness? And finally, if we look at now the relations, because the way we relate to each other would determine whether I will be able to pitch for the next level. And those are some of the successes that we are looking towards. Strathmore University and KHF may not run a program for 10 years or 20 years, but we have organizations that have been represented here. Research has been shared. You have the pointers. I think cascading this into our institutions and running with what we can be able to run with would help in terms of engaging men and moving towards women's empowerment. Thank you.
Okay. And finally, maybe just hearing your thoughts. We have had quite a number of conversations from morning, the presentations, in the middle, the different speakers. What would be your parting shot now as we are closing this conference, starting with Dr. Ben Ngoe? You look like you're ready. So I will not ambush him as he's thinking about it. Maybe give us your parting shot now as we are coming to a close of this conference.
You've ambushed me, yes. So let's just put that out there clear. But there are two things which come to mind for me. Number one is that, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's go out there and at least do something. Until we do something, then all this is just empty rhetoric, and we'll just be repeating the cycle over and over again, and nothing changes. So let's go out there and do something. And my second parting shot is this. In doing that something, let us also recognize that it is very difficult for us to have all the armamentarium that we need in order for us to slay this multifaceted dragon. We need the help of others. And I think my good friend Vinod mentioned that. A couple of other speakers also mentioned that. For us to recognize that if we join hands, we can achieve far much more than we can do individually. So if us, those who come here representing both our own selves and our institutions, can commit to at least opening our doors, opening our minds, opening our wallets to those who need our help, to those who are open to collaboration, I think then the reality of achieving what it is we want to achieve becomes that much closer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Charity?
I think my parting shot would be that the things we are talking about, if we address them, first of all, I think they are real. And if you allow me, I would like to share that in our panel or in our discussion, we were privileged to have Dr. Sylvia Nyamoya, who you have seen on the Wall of Fame as the first female neurosurgeon, who shared her story that in her last year, they introduced mentorship programs, and she happened to be mentored by a neurosurgeon. And so here we are. And the things we are talking about are real and they work. It's not just a study, it is not just a meeting, they work. And so let's take them back, like Benson has said, in your own way, evaluate yourself, evaluate your organization with what we have learned. Keep abreast with us and our work as we will be sharing it in the various channels, and let us do it. Let us just do it. Build momentum, collective momentum, and let's do it.
Thank you, Charity. Shall come to Benson, then we'll come to Dr. Theory.
Thank you. My parting shot is for all of us to look at the mechanisms of eliminating the barriers that are inhibiting women's progress in leadership. I know we have talked about the cultural barriers, the systemic barriers, and quite a mountain of a number, but it will be very critical for us to look at how our levels of socialization are also inhibiting the progress of women. And if we are able to look at those barriers, confront them, and come up with strategies and approaches, methodologies that are going to be customized for all levels of women, we are going to walk towards gender equality. Thank you.
Thank you, Benson.
I think the problem with doing a parting shot as a last person is trying to sound wise and remain memorable. And I will try and do all two. So one is you cannot see what you do not know. So we must strive to know better. And when we know better, let's want better as well. And let's not do this in isolation. Let's do it together. Because a rising tide rises with all ship at sea. So let's want better, let's know better, and I think we'll have advanced this course. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think I'll also just share a little bit of the observations and some of the next steps after this conference. Of course, we are delighted that we have seen a lot of enthusiasm for the work that we are doing, and particularly about the research results. So there's been many questions about what next, what is KHF, what is Strathmore planning? So as we've heard, the project is still going on up to end of next year. We will be having targeted dissemination workshops that will help us to distill those findings. I think Ben just tried to really summarize them, but there's a lot of interesting things that we can learn from and things that we can apply. So one of the critical things that we will be requiring from every one of you, of course, I know KHF will be organizing a lot of those forums, is of course for us to show up, for us to contribute, because as he said, a lot of times the reason we are not progressing is we are not coming to the places where we need to contribute and give our ideas about what needs to happen for change to actually happen, and also to own that change so that each of us becomes an ambassador for this cause and a change maker in the whichever space they are in. I also got the sense that, of course, there's a lot of work happening and mentorship, training, and all that. I also took this as a challenge for KHF and Strathmore. A lot of the young women here kept on asking for opportunities to be developed. And I know we were discussing about the leadership pipeline. So starting from undergraduate all the way to when they finish their undergraduate, their masters, across the different aspects of their career journey, how do we continuously keep supporting women? So there are many interventions for middle to senior to board level, but we need to look at how can we craft something that is more inclusive for the younger generation. Otherwise, we might find we have supported many women to move from the middle to the top, but we are also not supporting the ones who are coming up to move to the middle and maybe to be part of that pipeline that will provide a bigger pool of leaders for our country. Of course, I think gender mainstreaming has been talked about, not just in organizations, working with human resources and every other stakeholder. I think that has also come out strongly. I also see an emerging need of ensuring even our solutions are not a one-size-fits-all, because organizations are different, have different mandates, and their needs are also different. So there's also need to think about some of those interventions, how we can have them customized to fit the different audiences that we have. At least in the breakout I was in, there were quite a number of questions about women in entrepreneurship. We seem to have said what we are doing for women in corporate, but what are we doing to support women entrepreneurs to advance as well has come out, and something we also have to think about as KHF and Strathmore. So for the ladies here, again, we are really grateful for your participation. We are really surprised and amazed you're still here, meaning that you're really committed to that cause. I know we've been signing, and I think we have to journey together in this process of trying to drive country-level change. We have to break the barriers, we have to change the stereotype, we have to shape the narrative about women and men coexisting in a peaceful and cohesive way. It is not one gender against the other. It is us coming together to have inclusive organizations where both genders thrive for the betterment of our society. So as I conclude, I just remembered this quote from, I think it was Madeleine Albright, and she says, "There's a special place in hell for women who do not help other women." So if we want others to join this movement, let's start by helping ourselves, right? And my call to action is, if you're talking badly about a woman leader, convert that conversation to be a positive one about women leadership. We need to start promoting our own, and then we set the example so that others can see that women are not really tearing each other's down, but we are mentioning names in the spaces that we need to mention. We are highlighting work that is done by women. We are helping to advocate for other women. So my call to action will be really, we have to, charity begins at home. So women first, we must support one another even as we ask others to support us. Thank you very much. Back to you, June.
In the studio. Thank you very much, Dr. Angela Ndunge, reporting live from the Hall of Movenpick. All right, I'm going to ask Dr. Tim Theory to stay on the stage with me, and I'll ask the rest of you to please take your seats. Can we appreciate them all with a round of applause, please? And you can see my shoes have now changed. Let's see if you can still see me. Now ask me, are they heels? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our program was to end at 5 o'clock. It is 5:25. So with your help, we can finish in the next 10 minutes. Can we agree to do that? So that we can release you. Thank you for helping us to gain time, because we did not start on time, but we have done pretty well so far. So, hi, Dr. Tim. How you doing? He's looking for a mic. I didn't actually need you to say anything, but it's okay. You can talk to me. Hi. No, we want to appreciate some very important people who are in our midst. As you heard from two of them. And as we said earlier, they are a representation of all the amazing women who are featured on our Wall of Fame. But for those who are here, Dr. Miriam Mutebi was here earlier and had to rush off for an emergency surgery, but she spent a good part of the morning with us. So allow me to invite Dr. Jacqueline Kitulu up on stage, Dr. Elizabeth Itotia, and Dr. Sylvia Nyamwea to come up so that we can gift you and appreciate you. So just come up this way. Dr. Tim, the thing will come to you. Please keep clapping as they come. Please. So I'm not alone. Please keep coming. That's Dr. Jacqueline Kitulu. The camera muko wapi? Paparazi muko wapi? Kimbia. This music is for, what do you call this? This is this one. We are about to start dancing. Get your shoulders ready. Or we'd like you to move to the side, to the center. Yes. Higher. Now round, take 2. Dr. Jacqueline Kitulu. Asante. Higher. Have we smiled? Perfect. Dr. Tim, keep the smile going. You can release Dr. Kitulu. Dr. Sylvia Nyamwea. All right, we appreciate you. We see the work that you do. Hey, Dr. Sylvia. Where? Meno. Yes, there we go. You're shaking hands with a dentist. All right. Dr. Elizabeth Itotia. Let's have you centered. Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Tim. You have done well. You and your factory, Mola, may take your seat over here. Thank you so much. All right, and now we want to appreciate all of the people who participated in the various breakout panels. To help me do this, let me ask Dr. Stella Nyongesa to join me on stage. She's the Director of Graduate Programs, Strathmore. If you're in the house, let me have you come up on stage, please. Dr. Stella Nyongesa. Are you here? All right, let's welcome her as she comes. Dr. Ben, is this the person I need to talk to upgrade my diploma? Is this the one? Hi. Please put your hands together for Dr. Stella Nyongesa. Tutaongea nyuma ya tent. All right, I'd like to appreciate if you could take your place in the center. Thank you. The following panelists, in no particular order. Hilda Gikunda, if you're here, please come up. Let us appreciate you. Let's keep the clapping going, ladies. It's not too difficult until they come up here, yes. Use the music as a guide, like this, yes. Yes. Dr. Joy Mugambi, please make your way up so that we can appreciate you. Yes. It's even helping. Have you seen the way they're walking has changed? They are doing so good, so good, so good, so good. All right. Paul Kuria, please make your way up here. Paul Kuria, if you're here, we'd like to appreciate you as well. Paul Kuria. Okay, maybe he has stepped out. Dr. Frida Njogu Ndongwe. Frida Njogu Ndongwe. Are you here, Dr. Frida? Okay. If you are seated next to her, please appreciate her for us. And of course, Dr. Tim Theuri, even you, apparently you made some contributions on that panel. I was reluctant to call you, but come up and receive. Come up and receive. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Stella Nyongesa. You have done such an amazing job shaking everybody's hands and smiling. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I will come and see you because my diploma needs to be integrated. Thank you. I'd like to ask Simon Kigondu, the president of the Kenya Medical Association, to please come up and help me issue the following gifts. DJ, Ameche, I could see you are that guy. The Kenya Medical Association is in good hands. Now dance all the way to the middle over there. We'd like to appreciate the following. Dr. Daniel Monahan. Daniel Monahan, are you with us? Please make your way up. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Monahan? Monahan? No? You come and tell me when you get here. Meanwhile, you are being entertained. This is Nelson receiving on behalf of Dr. Daniel Monahan. Even you have to dance now that the precedent has been set. There we go. Next up, let me invite up Faith Muigai. Faith Muigai, please come up. We want to appreciate your contributions. Excuse me. Hi, how are you? Just come here. I will tell you when they are. Bado uko. These people dance, they get excited. Faith Muigai, please come up. You can dance as well because the person gifting you. Yeah. Yes, Hiya. He had one job. Give her the bag and smile. All right. Dr. Margaret Lubale, if you're in the house, please come. Let's appreciate you. Dr. Margaret Lubale is making her way up. Thomas Mundia, please just start making your way up here because I think we manage this individual. It's not a video we are taking, it's photos. Thank you so much. Let me ask you to come up. Thomas Mundia. Two more. Thomas Mundia. You're the I'm gonna tell them. That's Thomas Mundia, aka Father Abraham. He's the one. So you can ask him on the side if it is prophetic amani ukweli. Charity Kamau, please come up. Let's appreciate you as well as a member of that breakout panel. Hey. Take a couple of steps to your right. All right, thank you so much. And a big round of applause to the chairperson of Kenya Medical Association, actually the president, Simon Kigondu. You have done so well. Even you take yours and dance your way back to your chair. Thank you. He wants to be gifted his as well. So if you're the one who has been pointed at, make your way up there quickly. Thank you so much. Breakout panel number 3. To help me award these, the Executive Director of People and Culture at Strathmore University, Anna Makomu. Please join me up on stage. All right, Anna Makomu, thank you for being here. Quresha Abdullahi. Quresha Abdullahi, are you with us? Quresha Abdullahi, is she here? We'd like to appreciate, is he? Are you appreciating on her behalf? Or you are the one? On her behalf, okay. Come up, sir. Thank you. Please pass our gratitude. Tell her thank you very much. Aya. Sabina Saiti. Sabina Saiti, make your way up. Let's appreciate you. So much. I'll have you both leave the stage. Thank you. This was a small panel, but thank you so much, Anna Makomu, as well, for doing the official duty for us. Let me invite up Linus Ndegwa, Director of the Board of Kenya Healthcare Federation. Are you here? Linus Ndegwa. Dr. Benson Mutuku, please make your way up. We'll have you stand in the center. Let's appreciate, you can dance on your way here. Thank you. Yes. All right. Janet Morioki, make your way up here. Let's appreciate you. Karibu. Yes, oh. Yes, oh. Thank you so much. Dr. Mudhoni Ntonjira, if you're in the building, make your way up and receive your token of appreciation. Thank you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wonderful. And for taking us through the recap session so well, please let's welcome Dr. Angela Ndunge to receive her appreciation. A round of applause as we wrap. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. So we now would like to move our formal closing remarks. And who better to do that than one of the ones we started with in the morning, Dr. Tim Theory, who is the CEO of the Kenya Healthcare Federation. Please put your hands together as he comes to close our formal part.
I think I speak for many of us when I say we've had a good day, isn't it? Fantastic. So I'd like to first of all thank all of you for coming. It's not every day that you call people and they think you have something important to say and they show up, isn't it? Mjipigie makofi. Lazima mjipigie makofi vizuri. So you said you show up. Thank you. So I'd like to pass my deepest appreciation to each and every one of you for showing up, for taking a chance at learning something and exposing yourself to new ideas. It takes courage, and I'd like to thank you for that. I'd like to thank the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for enabling this, to the Strathmore Business School team who have been ever so useful and a fantastic partner to us in this course. I'd like to say thank you to all of you. To all the members of KHF who are present, a special thank goes to you. To my board of directors led by Dr. Gakombe, who couldn't be here with us, asanteni sana. Dr. Vinod, you've stayed with us the entire time. We really appreciate that. I have worked with a fantastic team. I'd like my team to stand up wherever they are. Charity and your team at the corner. Let's give them a special clap. They have worked, when we thought about International Women's Day and the concept note, before we went away for Christmas, it was sent to my email, had a look at it, and it seemed lofty then, but here we are at the end of the day giving a vote of thanks. So Charity, Joanne, Martin, Ron, Randy, Grace in absentia, and Lillian as well, and Lisa, receive my sincere gratitude. I know you've been running a bet in the office if I have African attire. So the person who lost, it's Friday. I will not say much after that. Who else have I left out? The Ministry of Health. The CSN indicated that should have loved to be here, and circumstances have happened. She couldn't have been here with us, but to Dr. Liz Wangia in absentia, together with Dr. Akoto and Goretti from the CS's office, receive our appreciation. 4 points who've worked with us. That is Kavudha. 4 ways, yeah? 4 wins who've worked with us, Kavudha, Ken, and June. I think logistically they've been impeccable. Let's give them a clap. To your entire technical team, asanteni sana. You've made the day possible. To anyone else who I may have left out, who? Me? June? Yeah? Oh, the MC. Oh, special appreciation again, June. Stand up wakuone. Earlier in the week, we tulipitana in studio where she runs with Capital FM. Yeah. To my friends also who came, asanteni sana. Don't harass me after this, we are going home. I think that is it. Joy, why are you complaining? You're going to Nakuru. So thank you so much to everyone who's come. This is a part we say guests leave at their own pleasure. We hope that we will be able to keep this work going. Angela, you are our PI. We hope that the vision, you have a vision for us beyond this, and we are going to support it as KHF. Ben, you've been useful as well in the journey. Ben can be a bit of a hooligan, but he's a good man. So to the entire Strathmore business team, receive our deep appreciation. I see the emails fly. I don't think I work hard. I work as hard as it's been made here, but asanteni sana. I see the work and it goes. It doesn't go unnoticed. I think that is it. June, come and dismiss your people.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Tim Theory, for those closing remarks and the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, our program is now formally over. And I'm so happy that the room is still full. You know, sometimes you go and you find you're talking to yourself and the wall. So thank you for still being here. And he had not finished. Okay, hi.
To the online audience. We forgot them. They've been with us since morning. So thank you so much. I think when I say the conversations have left the room, indeed they have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, it is an international digital conference. And remember the handles, if you have not yet posted your amazing selfies, please continue to do that and continue to disturb the internet using the hashtag Inspire Inclusion and the hashtag IWD 2024. We started off with a prayer and we would like to close with the same. So allow me to invite from the Association of Sisterhoods of Kenya, Sister Josephine Keino. I'll ask that you come up and just offer a closing prayer so that we, even if we go to a place that is not serving coffee, we are still blessed. And thank you all as you make your way home. Travel safely. When we dismiss, there are gifts for each and every one of our participants. So as you exit, please make sure you collect just a token from your participation at this conference. Karibu sana, sister.
We are going to pray for God's blessings. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our loving Father, we come before you at the end of this day, thanking you for having walked with us from morning until now. Father, you created us in your image and likeness. You wanted us to collaborate, men and women, so that together we may be able to show your glory wherever we are. Thank you for all these participants who left their work so that together we may be able to share our experiences and enrich each other. You've called each and every one of us with a mission, and through the help of your Holy Spirit, you continue to reveal yourself to each and every one of us and the society where we work. Loving Father, We ask you now that you may bless each and every conversation that we've had today, and we ask you that you may bring everything into fulfillment so that together we may be able to build a nation, a family, a society that you are known and loved. As we are now preparing to get back home, we pray for journey mercies for each and every one of us. And we ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, sister. Please remember to pick the markers and sign your name on the commitment board. Some of you did so earlier. If you missed that opportunity, please do that so that we can remember that you are here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening and happy International Women's Day 2024. Thank you.
Guess what mood I'm in? Need you like my oxygen. Let's go somewhere we can be, just you and me. Some
Those of you who've been wondering if you can take photos on the stage, yes, you may.